Hi guys, we are in California, Santa Monica Beach, baby. And look at this for a view. Lifeguard's still on duty, it's late afternoon, we've had a lovely walk around, bit of a dip in the sea, and it doesn't get much better than this, does it? And what a trip we've had. Two-day golf schools with Be Better Golf, hosted by Eric Miketree. You may have seen some of the content on YouTube or Instagram. And what I want to do, guys, especially for our channel, is just touch on some of the bunker stuff that we did, some of the bunker drills, because what a perfect place to try it out. We've got the flight scope set up with the awesome golf software. We're going to look at some different release patterns. And what I want to do is just touch on one of the exercises that we did in the golf school, which had a big impact on all the players there, because they didn't really recognise how to adapt their technique for bunker play. So how do we adapt the release pattern? Well, the first thing we need to do is we need to recognise how we're delivering the loft. The last thing we want in a bunker is to deal off the golf club, especially if we're trying to get spin and control. And this is particularly difficult because this sand is extremely soft and deep. So if we can do it on this sand, we can do it on any sand. We might even go further down towards the sea and do it on a tighter lie, see what it's like on a compact lie. But what I want to show you first is the basis of it. Just the fundamentals of using this. We've got the leading edge, which, as the name suggests, it should lead. We've got the bounce, and we've got the back edge of the bounce. And it's this feature that really separates this club from the rest, because that's why it's been designed the way it has, especially for sand, to use the bounce, to get the club bouncing out the sand. We've got to get this golf club travelling through the sand, not digging in. So if we rotate this club, we've got the leading edge leading, but it's rotating. What we want to do, we want it leading, but as it leads, we're releasing and presenting the back edge of the sole. So that produces now this bounce effect, and we can accelerate through. I want you to imagine the club face is a mirror, taking your normal stance, quite wide here to get a real solid stance, shuffle it into the sand. It's really deep, so I'm gonna have to grip lower down on the club. Don't forget, when you're playing in the bunkers and you're burying your feet into the sand just to get that stability, you need to grip a bit lower down so the ball effectively is slightly above the feet. What we're going to do is we're going to open the face. By opening the face now, we're presenting more bounce. Our job is to keep that bounce on the club, not lose the bounce, not rotate it. So if we imagine this club face as a mirror, on the way back, we should be able to see ourselves in the mirror. So whatever you need to do when you swing back to rotate the face, that's what you need to do. You are rotating the shaft this way. Essentially, as you swing, pointing the mirror to yourself. So you're going to probably feel some different kind of wrist action. Probably going to feel a bit more extension in the wrist, in that lead wrist. This is now facing me. This is loaded with loft. The bounce is presented if I keep it on. So on the way through, what I've got to make sure I do is keep the mirror pointing at me. So as I follow through, it's essentially a mirror image. Look at the lead wrist, it's extended again. Look at the club face, it's pointing at me. I could have a shave now, see myself in that mirror, do my makeup, no problem. Notice I've let the club swing. The wrists have rehinged. It's a hinge and hinge. So we've got the swing weight, creating the momentum, and we're letting that essentially accelerate the club and play the shot. What we've got to make sure is that we set up in a way to deliver this golf club effectively, because we've got to hit the sand before the ball. But the big problem that I saw in the golf school is that the duff shot in the bunker, because the low point was too low. People assume in a bunker you've got to get steep, and that's absolutely right. We do need to get steep, but as we're swinging down, we need to be pushing up, because that brings the low point up, that shallows the angle of attack, and now you've got this long, low flat spot collecting the ball, giving you much more margin for error, just compressing the sand between the club face and the ball shoots off. And it's going to spin because you've got the loft, and it's not going to dig in because you've got the bounce. What we're going to make sure is that the ball is forward in the stance. And just to encourage that downward angle of attack, we can imagine we're on a downhill lie. So the shoulders are tilted to the left for myself as a right-hander to my lead side, towards the target. This might feel a little strange. And I'm going to maintain that feel in the swing, so the arc of the swing is naturally angled down. And this now is allowing us to release the club freely. And as I then just pop, I can push off the ground and let myself extend. Watch good bunker players. Finishing, chest up, they've extended through the shot. They're shallowing it out as they swing down and through. That allows a full release to a nice finish. So let's see how it is. I've got a 54 here, going to open it right up. Leading edge will be off the floor, off the sand. Although we're in the air, the leading edge, if I was to place this on the floor, it would be off the ground. The back edge of the sole would be touching the ground. All I've got to do now is make sure I can see myself in the mirror here, see myself in the mirror there. Let's try it. And that came out perfect. I got a bit of sand before the ball came out, nice trajectory, and we'll see the results on the Awesome Golf. 6-yard carry, low spin. I got a lot of sand before the ball and I'm playing a 54, so we'll see if we can get more spin. The more sand you take, the less spin you're going to get. So this 54 would be perfect for like a pitch and run kind of bunker shot. So if the flag was towards maybe the back of the green, you could pitch it on and let it just check and release. It's not a high amount of spin, but I've got the ball launching there at 60 degrees, a 60-degree launch angle. So it's going to land pretty soft. So we're going to try that again now, and I'm going to add more loft. So how am I going to do that? Well, that's going to be simple. All I'm going to do, open the face, but I'm really going to show more of the mirror. And as I swing through, I'm going to let this release even more. Now, we're not leaning back and trying to help it up. That's going to present a lot of problems. It's going to move the low point too far back, might thin it, top it, even duff it. We've got to stay on our lead side. We've got to stay leaning on that downslope. And now, as I release what's going to feel really early, I can extend, I can push off the ground at the same time. And I'm going to finish into a much higher position at the end. So that's really, really extended. Got a little bit less sand, so I got more of the ball there. So we're playing longer bunker shots. Suddenly, I've loaded it with spin. Can you see? 8,654 spin. Launch came down. So the launch came down because I wasn't as steep. So we got the ball flight lower. I took less sand. I came in a little bit lower, hit it a little bit lower off the face. Ball came out, shot out, but high spin. That ball's going to check. It travelled a lot further, that one, played a much longer swing. That was 38 yards. So you can see how we can load it with spin, keeping the loft on the face. I'm going to play another one now. Let's see how we go. So now we're going to go greenside. Going to change clubs to a 58. Open that face, present the bounce. Going to go for more of a launched, kind of softer greenside shot. Opening the face, leaning left. Now this might be counterintuitive when you think I've got a lip to get over, maybe a short-sided flag. I've got to try and play it soft and just hopefully don't hit it too far, pop it onto the green. We've got to do the opposite. We've got to stay loaded on our lead side, tilted on that downslope. Club's going to rise vertically very early. Try and make the swing as light as possible. And what I mean by that is let the swing weight go up. If you take the club in your trail hand and swing it up, just let it fall behind you and feel how heavy it is. Move it out in front and feel how much lighter it is. We want this to feel light. So the arc of the swing is more vertical. So we've got a natural downward angle of attack, and to shallow it, we can extend. And that widens the swing radius, shallows it out, and we get a nice long low flat spot. So we're going to go for more spin. We're going to open that face up, we're going to load on that lead leg, and we're going to swing up and keep that loft on it. And that's popped up really high. I took a nice amount of sand, it softened the blow, 56.2, so we've got a lot higher launch. I got a bit of sand between the balls, so it took the spin down a bit. So it really is imperative for the spin, it's quality of contact. So I've got to stay lead side a bit more. So I got a bit too much sand between the club face and the ball. But because of that high vertical launch, it's going to land pretty soft. So it's not going to run off the green, it's going to check, maybe roll out a little bit, it's under control. So let's see if we get a bit more spin. So I'm going to go for a strike that's a bit closer to the ball. So we loaded lead side, shoulders tilted. We don't want too much shaft lean, and now we can just trust mirror to mirror. And we get that nice flight, that spin, and that position at the end, that place that we recognise. And it's all important that we recognise our movement. If you're not sure where you should finish, just try the exercise with your lead hand. Mirror to mirror. And at the end now, hold this place, hold this position. It's the only time I'll ever say position, by the way, guys. And now move your trail hand across. Don't move the club, just move your trail hand to grip the club and recognise what your body has to do to get you there. And this is the movement you're going to have to make in the swing with the body when you've got both hands on the club. Now from here, just swing straight back and through. So you can recognise how much you actually have to rotate in your bunker play to maintain the loft and bounce on the club. Otherwise, if we stop, this takes over, the leading edge digs in, then we get the fat shots or the thins. If we keep rotating, we maintain that consistent arc. We've got the bounce on the club, the loft presented to the ball, and we can control the spin. And let's see what spin we got there. 6,100 with a 48.8 launch and a 24-yard carry. So that's like playing to like the middle of the green, if you like. So we could play this a lot softer, a lot softer. But you can see the kind of spin we can get there with a very, very soft sandy lie. It's quite deep as well with the feet. So we've really got to be careful in how we set up and how we feel our motion. Feeling that movement form, we can recognise that shape at the end with the loft still on the face, the bounce still on the club, pressure on the left, rotated with the body. It's a place that we recognise, it's a destination we're swinging through, we can commit to that, and that's going to help us with releasing the club, so we can commit to the finish and expect the shot we're getting because we've practiced it so many times, and recognise the feeling off the face, the feeling with the sand, all this sensory information that we're getting is recognised in our practice, so we can execute it naturally by focusing on the simulation, keeping external, because we recognise internally what we're doing with the club. So guys, try that out, mirror to mirror, and see you on Santa Monica Beach sometime. So we've just watched the sun go down, the beautiful Santa Monica sunset. Guys, drop a comment below, let us know how you get on. And guys, if you want us to come to a place near you, we're more than happy to come to a place like this. Drop your comments below where you are, and hopefully we can arrange a GRF golf school at a place near you.